What's up, guys? The NFL is going to do a full schedule release tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. But if it's anything like last year, the next 24 hours or so will be full of schedule leaks, and we might know half the schedule before 8 p.m. tomorrow. Here's what we already know. We know every team the Bears will be playing this season, just not when they play. We also know the Ravens are going to open up the season against the Chiefs on Thursday Night Football. And then the NFL is going to have its first ever Friday night game, the Packers versus the Eagles. So we know we're not playing the Packers week 1. And then also announced is a Sunday afternoon game between the Cowboys and Browns. And then a Monday night football showdown of the Jets and 49ers. So we can cross the 49ers and Packers off the list. We will not be playing them week 1. On top of that, we know the Bears will be playing in London at some point this season, but the only game we actually know is our first preseason game, the Hall of Fame game. The Bears will play the Houston Texans to open up the preseason on Thursday, August 1st in Canton, Ohio. Mongo and Devin Hester will enter the Hall of Fame that night, and the Bears will enter a new era of football with Caleb Williams at the helm. Although I doubt he plays in that one, but here are the Bears' 2024 opponents. Our home games are going to be against the Packers, Lions, and Vikings, as well as the Panthers, Jaguars, Rams, Patriots, Seahawks, and Titans. And then the away games, obviously Packers, Lions, and Vikings again. And then we're going to travel to play the Cardinals, the Texans, the Colts, the 49ers, and the Commanders. It's actually a very interesting layout of opponents. Obviously, we play our division opponents twice. I don't put too much stock into the strength of schedule, but this year's lineup looks less daunting than other years. First thing you notice is we have one more home game than away game. However, that will be played in London. So it's going to be 8 home games, 8 away games, and 1 game overseas. Playing the AFC South should be fun, and getting to go against the other worst teams in the NFL should show us exactly where we are in the rebuild. Tomorrow night, we will find out the actual schedule, but there are already a lot of things to look forward to this season. Most of this hype comes from rookie quarterback Caleb Williams. It's kind of crazy when you look at this list, the amount of young quarterbacks that Caleb and the Bears will take on this year. When you look at this year's draft, he's going to be going against all 3 of the other big time rookie quarterbacks on the schedule. He will go home to Washington to take on Jaden Daniels and the Commanders. That's going to be must see TV for sure. But he also has matchups versus Drake May and the Patriots, as well as 2 games versus the Vikings and JJ McCarthy. Whether or not McCarthy plays remains to be seen, but there will be plenty of matchups between Caleb and JJ going forward. But then you think of last year's quarterback class, and Caleb Williams is going to be battling all of them this year. He's going to go head to head versus Bryce Young and the Panthers, and that's going to be interesting to see what do those teams look like 18 months after Ryan Poles fleeced Carolina. But let's not forget about rookie phenom CJ Stroud. We are also going to play the Texans on the road, and Caleb can only hope to replicate what CJ did last year. That should be a must-see game as well. We'll also be going to Indy to take on Anthony Richardson and the Colts, as well as a home game against Will Levis and the Titans. So we're scheduled to go against the big 3 QBs from this year that were drafted and all 4 of the top QBs from last year. Young quarterback showdowns are exciting, and honestly, we've never really been part of that mix. And just looking ahead at all the young signal callers, and this is a real chance for Caleb Williams to come out and show the world what he's capable of. But as the number 1 pick in the draft and the first number 1 pick in Bears history in my lifetime, he's also going to get to go against some other number 1 picks. First off on that docket, he's going against $200 million man Jared Goff and the Lions. Goff was a former number 1 pick himself. I've already mentioned Bryce Young and Jared Goff, but there's 3 other guys that Caleb's going to battle this year that were also the first pick of the NFL draft. Matthew Stafford and the Rams, Trevor Lawrence and the Jags, and Kyler Murray and the Cardinals. So Caleb is going against all 7 of the top QBs from 2023 and 2024, and he's also going against 5 former number 1 overall picks. And then guys that didn't even make the list are Brock Purdy and Jordan Love. I don't usually get too excited for the schedule release, but man, Having a franchise quarterback changes things up. I've never been this hyped about the future of this franchise. It's almost scary to think about. I'm not used to this feeling. Let me know what games you guys are most looking forward to seeing and what your level of excitement for the season is at this moment. If there are any leaks before tomorrow night's release, I will be back with a video breaking those down. And then I'll go over our schedule tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. Thanks for everyone who watches. Please remember to hit that like button for me. And until next time, bear down.